Okay, recording's starting. So.
Okay, firstly, basically, as an upshot of what I'm going to show, so content out of the box uses sort of vision for image and video analysis to some extent, and I just thought I would look at how I can extend that to do more. In this case, I'm going to pull a couple of extra things out, and I'm going to extract thumbnails from the videos. Most of this is done external out to the DAM using Azure Functions and Service Bus. I will post the source code up and send a link out to everyone on this sort of call later on. But it does take a while, so in order so we can see it actually in some sort of operation, I will just set a couple away. I've just got an action set to when I publish it to do some work. So if I set them away, hopefully my functions will start to kick in and we will see things added in. So I will go back now to how things were set up. So making the presumption everyone is familiar-ish with Content Hub, I added in a couple of properties into the asset tag of the schema. Just to show you this, one is just a string of all the captions it's going to pull out. Another is a link. It's a back to self link to asset, so I can create other assets hanging off the video that are the thumbnails extracted from the videos, and then additional like so to that, just a boolean, a boolean value, just to clarify if this property is linked to a video, and I will demonstrate why for that sort of later on. In addition, to that, obviously I updated the asset detail page. Asset detail page, there we are. And I added in a couple of extra properties. Firstly, captions, and this is just the caption field from that group, and also related faces, which is on that link and set to display thumbnails and link back to the assets page itself. Then in order to, when I first started to run it, obviously it's bringing in a load of additional assets. I updated the search page of all the search properties on the assets page to hide or to not show anyone where it is a related thumbnail. So i.e. if you upload one asset that pulls out 40 thumbnails, you don't want all those 40 thumbnails appearing in your asset search. So the page then, come back to manage, and all of this is triggered just using the trigger functionality on update, and all we are doing is when a media asset is updated, that is a video, and it's approved, and obviously the life cycle has changed. So basically, when the life cycle is is fully approved. Go and do that work. The reason I put it on approved is basically because it's quite an expensive operation. So it goes out to Vision API, and all that does is obviously drop a message into Service Bus. Detail the code, but I will show you a couple of things. Basically, when a message is posted, read the target ID, grab the rendition, and upload that rendition into blob storage. And ultimately, what we then do is send that URL along with various other properties in the query string and the post body up to the Vision API. So hopefully, with having one running now, I will video index it with a bit of luck. This should, there we go, have 2 videos indexing and they are quite far along, so that's quite good. So ultimately then what this looks like when I find the correct page, the 2, we will see the ones I've uploaded just now will be there without the properties. Those are the 2 I put in earlier, and I was just talking about the Brad Pitt acceptance speech. This is one I dropped in earlier on, and you can see it's brought in all the tags from the video, which it does by default, but I rebaked the default. I rebaked the out-the-box thing to have one processor go into Vision, so it doesn't go to Vision so twice. It pulls in the captions and brings out all the face thumbnails. It thumbnails are everything. You can look for brands. You can look for, the options are pretty much endless, to be honest, and you can tell Vision itself what it is you're looking for. But faces seemed sensible and relatively harmless thing to do in this case. So, and each one of these links to the relevant thumbnail asset. This is just a thumbnail, but this could be done if you're dropping it into a website that I'm guessing, in this sort of thing, you might well be. You might have the video, and then you might want to pull out the various stills. In the case of famous people, it also brings back the name. You can also, if you want to sort of train the model, this is going a bit off-piste from Content Hub. You can train the model and have it also so populate your thumbnail models with some people's names if you want to. If you have a play around, you can add properties. It's purely referenced via the relevant property name when you update it. It's very, very straightforward to do. So with a bit of luck, these should now be getting on to being finished. There you go. They should now be finished. So what will happen, because it's a multi-step process. If you aren't familiar with how you upload entities into Content Hub via the API, what you need to do is create an entity itself and then set up a fetch job. And what the fetch job is, it's an asynchronous request to a resource. In this case, HTTP resources out to the blobs. What this ultimately means is the linked assets take a further handful of minutes to drop in. That's just an excuse for why there's probably no linked assets against this yet. Yeah, so we can see there that now it is tagged. All seems relatively sensible for what it's found. And the captions have dropped in there quite nicely. I can't remember it. There's an index process running. Can't remember if I made the captions including search, but by doing this, if you want to include the captions in search after the whole thing is indexed, you can search for videos based on a phrase that appears in the caption, if you want to. And it probably will be a few more minutes, so I apologise. Hoping that one of these has caught up. Saying not that one because I've clicked on the wrong one. That's right. There you go. Images have started to drop in for the relevant videos. Maybe this one has as well. That one hasn't quite yet. But that gives hopefully an overview of how simple it is to extend the object model, extend the page, add properties onto the page, and link, and also edit the default searching, so you can effectively, as I have here, those assets are in the system. They are searchable via the API. It's retrievable by the API, obviously, but do not appear and clutter up your main search results page. Unless anyone has any questions on this, I will spare you all any more minutes of my sort of dulcet tones. But yeah, if anyone has anything, either sort of drop me a message in here or via email. I will I will send Chris a link to the repository with this information in. Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Thanks a lot, Matt. That was very good. So does anyone have any questions for Matt?
Is that the video wasn't coming, or the image wasn't coming up due to the indexing?
No, basically what happens is the related images, are we talking about, I'll just bring up one. One that has got them, I apologize. There.
Yep.
What happens is when you create an image, when you add an asset into the DAB, the asset and the associated binary are done separately. So you create the asset with the relevant properties, and then you set up a job to say basically get the binary from here, and that runs asynchronously, which takes a few minutes if you are uploading several. So I would imagine within the next 4 or 5 minutes on those two ones I uploaded, those images will appear. It's obviously there's background indexing processes that run for things like full text search. So if you want to search on the captions, and if that is enabled, and like I say, I can't remember off the top of my head, if I did enable it for this, it generally takes a few minutes from updating a full text field for that to become searchable.
Cool. So is it the job that takes care of syncing the images?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you go to jobs, just to show you what happens. So when you set things away, you will get a load failed with this because it's trying to extract metadata from the things that Vision sent, and there's none in it. But these are the update jobs,
Okay.
Which you can see ran. So
Is it something you need to set up, or is that?
No, the fetch job, if you update via the API, it all depends how you insert your assets. But in this case, we are inserting related assets via the API. So in this case, you create a fetch job and link it to the asset. So then it effectively, sets up a background task in the system. Any other way you upload assets, the fetch job is sort of taking care of itself. If I give you an example, am I still sharing? Yes, I am. I will just add something at random here. You're probably going to get a picture of my dog or something now, because that's seemingly all I ever have on my PC. Here you go. Something nice and the storm that's affecting you at the moment. So you can see there that asset is uploaded, but that hasn't already got an image there. And if I go to jobs here, you will see, there you go, it's got a processing job for that file set. So simply by uploading the asset, it is doing that. And it will take, well, it depends on the size of the video, how much processing you have. In the case of a video like this, maybe 3 or 4 minutes for the video to become in the system, indexable, and it to create the renditions.
Cool.
So the nice thing about that, the way that this is, that it separates it out like that, means that if you have a large volume of assets that you're bringing in, it means that you can go in and you can edit the metadata right away, rather than waiting for all of the videos and all of the images and everything to load. It's offloaded to another process, so you can go in and you can edit and clean up all the stuff that you want to clean up, and then the other stuff is running, and it'll come in as it's got time. Right? So. Yeah,
exactly. So in the case of if you're inserting via the API, so tens of thousands of records, asset items, they become editable from a metadata perspective long before all your images are there, because there could be terabytes of data coming in, which will take several days. So it does that way allow you to effectively work on things before it's there.
Cool. Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.
Do we have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop recording then. And thanks a lot, Matt.
No problem. I'll